Hey everyone, happy Monday. James Azar here with the CyberHub podcast and your daily practitioner brief. It's Monday, May 11th. Let's get right into this and not waste any time. A busy weekend for a lot of folks. Friday seemed to be a very news intensive day from a cyber perspective. A lot of different things have come out, but we're going to get into about 2 or 3 stories that I feel like have the most impact, things that I'm looking at as I've started preparing for this week from my CISO role, and here they are. A blue Mockingbird Monero-Mining campaign is exploiting web apps. There's been an increase of it. They're also taking advantage of a deserialization vulnerability titled CVE2019er189er35, which does allow for remote code execution. The bug is found to progress through the Telerik UI front-end offering for ASP.NET Ajax JavaScript, essentially, that's being used. So one thing to really pay attention to, the mitigation efforts should really be looking at web servers, web application dependencies of the applications to inhibit the initial access. One thing I've been looking at is monitoring our network traffic, seeing what that looks like year over year, month over month, based on usage, based on company revenue, based on growth, based on sales, and seeing does it kind of match up? Do the graphs even out? And that's a very important graph for practitioners to have from the aspect of, are we really there? Because what these guys are exploiting is your bandwidth, it's your network traffic, and that's something that is trackable or could lead to asking some questions, which might allow you to discover this before it's too late and save yourself some money. Another thing is a hacking group has started to make a statement. Initially, they were predominantly in Asia, and so I kind of looked them off a little bit, but most recently they hit GitHub, and so that have raised all of my eyebrows. They're called the Shiny Hunters, and they've been very, very busy selling user data from a ton of data breaches. It started last weekend with Tokopedia, Indonesia's largest online store, with over 90 million records sold. It then moved to 22 million users for Unacademy, one of India's largest online learning platforms. And most recently, last week, they hit GitHub and started leaking files from the company's private source code repositories. So based on several experts I've spoken with about these Shiny Hunter fellas, they're really trying to get a name for themselves out there, trying to build some value. The data that they're trying to sell really amounts to about $20,000 for the entire data, maybe just a little bit more than that. Bleeping Computer has a great graph of how much they're selling each piece of data for, but this seems to almost be a kind of an opening shot in a long marathon where they're just really just starting to make a name for themselves, show that they're reliable, that they've got good data, and as they progress, they'll probably be going after bigger targets and more data. So watch out for Shiny Hunters. We're now looking to identify the TPPs that they use. We should hopefully have some more information this week, if not next week. We're working very, very hard to get more information for all of us here practitioners. And finally, the Cognizant ransomware that really started in April of last month, and in their earning call, a lot of information did come out. They're estimating that the cost of this ransomware is going to be around $50 to $70 million, folks. That's quite pricey. They are blaming this on the Maze ransomware gang. That's who they've been using. One of the aspects that we looked into, and I kind of wanted to share with you folks today, is that I've spoken to several people, some who are on the incident response side of this thing, who will remain anonymous, and others who are familiar with the situation. All have indicated that this is a failed deployment of a work from home situation where a machine was compromised, which then logged into the corporate network and allowed for the payloads to get in there and the Maze ransomware gang to really take advantage of it. I try to keep these practitioner briefs extremely short in order to give you guys that. You can get the full PDF with everything I was just talking about, with the links, with the patches, with everything you need by going to cyberhubpodcast.com. Click on that practitioner brief and you can get this directly in your inbox. That's where it goes for all of you folks. That's it for me here today with the CyberHub podcast. More to come tomorrow. Until then, folks, enjoy the rest of your day and stay cyber safe.